A lot happened in Quinnipiac athletics over the break.
Both basketball teams are far into their season and doing well respectively in their conference.
And we have a few standout athletes making headlines nationally and globally.
We'll also fill you in on what's going on with men's and women's ice hockey.
Let's get to it. Hello and welcome back to a new year of Sports Paws. I'm Camille Bova and alongside me is Thomas Albanese.
Well, thank you very much, Camille. And how was your break?
Very nice, very relaxing. Just caught up on Quinnipiac athletics.
Well, it's a good thing that you did because we have a lot to catch up all of you on for all of our viewers.
Absolutely, and let's start off with men's basketball.
The men's basketball team was busy over the last month. The Bobcats finished their out-of-conference schedule with a win over Vermont and close losses against Lehigh and Oregon State. After returning home, Tom Moore's squad continued its schedule against conference foes. Quinnipiac has heated up, earning 2 wins over Monmouth and 2 victories against Iona and Manhattan. They also defeated Niagara and suffered only 1 loss in their last 6 games, which came against the Peacocks of St. Peter's.
And now we'll bring in Q30's Giovanni and Morey Hershgordon to break down what happened over. Welcome, guys.
Thank you, Camille and Tom and Morey. You know, the men's basketball team's first year in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, they weren't expecting to make that much of a big noise, but oh, how they proved us wrong so far.
Oh, Gio, you're definitely right. They started off at Vermont over break, a place very hard to play in Burlington. 4 players scored in double figures. They were 25 of 27 from the line. Definitely something that's going to be crucial as they look into the MAAC playoffs. After a game against Lehigh, they go and travel to Corvallis, Oregon to take on Oregon State. 15-0 run in the second half. They make a statement. They lose a close one, but that's a Pac-12 team that's definitely looking to make some noise.
And you know, one thing important about this whole entire break while we were gone, one person that really stepped up that had a problem being consistent last year, a player by the name of Usman Drame. More, you want to talk more about him?
Oh, definitely. Gio, against Monmouth over break at home, he had 15 points, a career-high 21 rebounds, and 7 blocks, a Quinnipiac Division I record. He's eating it up on the glass and playing great down low.
You talk about the glass, the Bobcats are top 3 in the country in rebounding, and they took home 2 big wins at home against Iona and Manhattan, 2 of the best teams in the conference. More, do you want to talk more about the potential of winning a big game like that, or 2 big games at home against 2 of the best teams in the conference in your inaugural season?
Oh, definitely, Gio. Iona and Manhattan, great teams, guard heavy like we talked about before, but the Bobcats are solid down low. Their guard play's been crucial, and you know what, I want to mention their bench play. Kasim Chandler spark off the bench. Evan Conti showed great minutes in the past 2 games. AJ Sumbry's a big body off the bench. So all the components are starting to fit together. We got a couple games towards the end of the MAAC season. Going into the playoffs, it should be fun.
All right, guys, back to you.
Thanks, guys. Men's basketball took on the Iona Gales in a conference showdown on Friday. The game was a battle to share first place in the conference standings. Quinnipiac is 2-0 historically against the Gales, including their victory earlier this season. Let's see how they fared. Men's basketball versus Iona. First half, off of the opening tip, Mike Poole passes to Sean Armin in for the layup, and Iona is going to lead 2-0. On to the next possession, Sean Armin intercepts pass from James Ford, takes it in for the layup again, and Iona is up 4-0. Later in the first half, Ike Azatam takes the ball in for a layup. The Bobcats trail 35-26 at the half. Start of the second half, Sean Armin takes a pass from Mike Poole, puts it up for 3. Bobcats down 38-26. Soon after, Azatam takes a pass from Shaq Shannon, takes it in for the layup. The Bobcats are still down 38-31. Later in the half, we have AJ English makes the 3 and Iona starts to pull away 65-46. Right after, David Laurie takes the ball in for a layup and Iona is up 88-66. We have 1 minute left. AJ English takes a pass from Sean Armin for the easy layup. Iona's up 90-66, and Iona goes on to win 95-73.
And now, Camille, let's shift right over to their game against Manhattan. Quinnipiac looking to respond from their loss against Iona. As you can see, Usman Drame could not suit up for the second straight game. So let's go early in the first half. We have Ike Azatam right here, who's going to hit the high bank shot, but Manhattan still has an early lead. And now later on, Shaq Shannon's pass is stolen by Emmy Andujar, and he's going to go coast to coast for the layup. Manhattan goes up to early 6-2. Now next possession for Quinnipiac, Umar Shannon, attempts the three, and it's good, and the foul, and he will sink the free throw for a 4-point play. Now in the second half, Ike Azatam's strong dunk is denied, and the ball goes out to Evan Conti, who attempts the three, and that's good, and the foul, and that'll be another 4-point play for Quinnipiac. Tom Moore liking what he is seeing from his team. Now Umar Shannon gives it over to Shaq Shannon, and he gets the nice up and under layup right there, and the foul, and Quinnipiac starting to make a run. Now Alvarado is going to go to Ramel Brown with the slam dunk right there. And now Alvarado is back right here with the game tied at 77 apiece. His shot is no good, and this game is going to go right to overtime. And in overtime, Shaq Shannon's attempt at a layup is blocked. But look at Evan Conti picking up the loose ball, and he gets the layup. And Quinnipiac is going to dominate the rest of the overtime period. Umar Shannon sinks 2 free throws right here, and that will seal the deal for Quinnipiac. They win this game 90-86, getting back on the winning track. Here's head coach Tom Moore.
Our guys never lost their composure. The thing I was worried about was we looked tired. You know, I went with the core guys for a real long stretch. You know, you go from playing Evan Conti like 8 or 10 minutes a game to him just playing great and me just staying with him, you know. And that lineup I had out there, those guys logged big minutes. So I was worried more about that. But their composure was great. In timeouts, you know, Manhattan was playing really hard. They were doing what they do, taking the ball to the basket, running good offense, guarding us. We're not making anything easy. They were really fighting on the glass, too.
Quinnipiac wasn't the only team in action this week. On Wednesday, Canisius defeated regional rival Niagara 87-74 in Buffalo. Then on Friday, while Quinnipiac fell to Iona, Manhattan defeated Rider 67-51. Finally on Sunday, Canisius defeated Marist 78-65, and Iona defeated St. Peter's 71-63, and Rider defeated Monmouth 77-71.
With the win on the road against Manhattan, the men's basketball team has moved into a tie with Manhattan for third place in the MAAC standings. Both teams stand with a 7-3 conference record. The Gales of Iona and the Golden Griffins of Canisius are tied for first place right now with records of 8-2 apiece. Rider is 1 game behind both Quinnipiac and Manhattan, and next up for Quinnipiac is a home game against Canisius on Thursday. Now we bring back Gio and Morey to break down what happened this weekend. Welcome back, guys.
Thank you, Tom. And I'll tell you one thing about this weekend. We saw Usman Drame not playing this weekend against 2 big teams in Iona and Manhattan. And against Iona, it clearly saw the impact without Drame. They got out-rebounded. They got outscored. Ike was the only person really making an impact on the floor. And then Manhattan, they made the big step back. They won the game in overtime. And Morey, I'll tell you one thing. I was really impressed by the forwards by Quinnipiac in the Manhattan game compared to Iona.
Very impressed. They had 51 rebounds, a team high this year without, as you said, Usman Drame.
But, you know, I'll tell you one thing, Morey, that this whole entire weekend, what I wanted to see from Quinnipiac this whole entire time was how they were going to rebound from the Iona game, because like we said before, they're a top rebounding team. And we mentioned earlier before the show started how Quinnipiac really has to focus more on their guard play. And it seemed like even without Drame, they were able to get the ball inside the 2-3 zone played by most MAAC teams to face their guards and, most importantly, beat them outside from beyond the 3 as well.
Definitely. And 3 players scored over 20 points, so the inside-out game definitely was working. You know, one thing that I saw was Quinnipiac had a 10-point lead late in the game at Manhattan, a playoff-type environment, NCAA caliber type team in Manhattan. Manhattan goes on a 13-0 run. Quinnipiac sustains the hit, forces the game into overtime, and they get the win on the road. Big MAAC win.
Now we talk about the MAAC being a very heavy guard conference, and this week they're facing Canisius, the best team in the MAAC, and one person you got to watch out for is Benny Barron, who last week had 35 points a game in his two games, had 3 assists and 3 rebounds. You also got Rob Poole of Siena coming up this week as well. But the one difference about the MAAC that I feel Quinnipiac is the reason why they're doing so well this year in this conference is because of the rebounding factor. The fact that they have that chance to take the disadvantage from most teams in the conference, use that as their advantage, and most importantly, turn those rebounds into second points.
Yeah, no, definitely. And as we were saying before the show, top 30 in the country in second chance points, and their bench is crucial. These teams, also in Niagara, Antoine Mason, a star. But the bench really, I think, puts Quinnipiac over the top. And like I said earlier, with guards and forwards off the bench, Quinnipiac's a very versatile team.
I feel like we forgot to mention also that with this team compared to last year we saw a few inconsistent players. Zaid Hirsch was supposed to step up last year. He had some games where he was really good, but then he had some games where he was questionable. Same with Evan Conte. He didn't know what his role was. And this year you see you have 5 people on this team in double figures, and you have Gassim Chandler coming off the bench, scoring a good amount of points, and having that factor of having a scorer off the bench in Gassim Chandler, a hustler in Evan Conte, and a guy who can get you minutes in Marquise Bennett. I feel like having that more versatility is helping the Bobcats this year in the MAAC a lot, and I feel like that's going to help them more in the long run as well.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen, for as always. Now, don't change that channel. When we come back, we'll recap what women's basketball did over the break, check out their games at Ryder and Fairfield, and look how the men's hockey team has been faring. Stick around. We'll be right back.
The Bobcat Shop, located at 1010 Sherman Avenue in Hamden. Your #1 choice for Bobcat merchandise. The Bobcat Shop features 2 floors of countless styles and colors. With a full 19,000 square foot screen printing and embroidery operation on the premises, Campus Customs and Simplify can design and decorate any garment or promotional product as quickly as needed. Stop in and say hi.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken with cheese for just over $4, giant cheesesteak subs, and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q-Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
While the students were away on break, women's basketball team had 11 games, with 2 of those games out of the conference. The Bobcats were able to secure 8 wins, 6 of which were in conference. The Bobcats moved into 3rd place in the MAAC.
Trisha Fabry's squad continued its season on Tuesday, January 21st, with a 54-44 win over Rider University. Brittany McQuain led the team with 18 points. Nicolai Ostergaard added 10 points, and Samantha Guastella grabbed 9 rebounds in the team's win. The Bobcats moved to 12-8 overall with a 7-3 record in MAAC play.
Women's basketball hosted their in-state rival, Fairfield University, on Sunday. The Bobcats have won 4 consecutive games in MAAC play, and Fairfield defeated Quinnipiac in their first matchup this season, 72-71. Women's basketball versus Fairfield, the Bobcats enter the game on a 4-game winning streak, looking to improve their record 13-8. Early in the first half, the ball is passed to Katie Szynski for the layup. Fairfield goes on the board up 2-0. Soon after, the ball is back to Katie Szynski for another easy layup. Fairfield leads the Bobcats 8-0 as the Bobcats take a timeout. The Bobcats answer. Nicolai Ostergaard drives to Samantha Guastella for the layup. Bobcats trail Fairfield 10-2. Shot clock winding down. Brittany Obitot for the jump shot at the buzzer. Bobcats down 16-7. Later, the Bobcats bring down Fairfield's lead, and Ostergaard passes to Jasmine Martin for a 3-point. Soon after, Ostergaard dribbles her way in for a layup, and the Bobcats trail 19-18. In the final minutes of the first half, Brianna Ramos passes to Jasmine Martin, who drives it in and lays it up. Bobcats trail 28-22. Late in the second half, it was all Fairfield. Brittany Obitat drives it in for a top layup. Fairfield leads the Bobcats. Soon after, Kristen Schatslin drives down the baseline for an easy layup. Bobcats still trailing. Later, the Bobcats try to trim the lead. Abshire passes to Guastella for the post layup. Bobcats trail 49-43. Right after, Brianna Ramos floats it up for a bucket. The Bobcats trail 49-45. Fairfield's scoring late was too much as the Bobcats leave a player open. Schatslin for the wide open layup. Fairfield leads the Bobcats 57-49, and after late free throw shots, defeat the Bobcats 61-52.
While Quinnipiac faced off against both Rider and Fairfield, other MAAC teams were in action. Iona earned 3 more wins to move them to 10-0 in the MAAC. Marist also won games against St. Peter's and Niagara, giving the Red Foxes 4 straight wins. In other recent action, Monmouth defeated Manhattan 75-70 on Sunday, and Canisius defeated Siena on the road 75-66.
In the MAAC for women's basketball, Iona currently sits in first place with a record of 10-0. Marist follows with a record of 9-0, and Fairfield sits in third at 7-3. And Quinnipiac currently stands in fourth place at 7-4 in conference play.
After a break from the holidays, the men's ice hockey team participated in the Yukon Holiday Tournament. The Bobcats would skate to a 2-2 tie against the University of Massachusetts and win the shootout 2-0 in the first game. They then defeated Sacred Heart 5-0 to win the tournament. The Bobcats continued their season going 4-1-1 since the tournament, earning wins over Maine, Union, RPI, and Merrimack.
Despite not moving in the USCHO rankings this week, men's hockey jumped over Union to number 3 in the country. Union fell to Quinnipiac's old spot, number 4. Other ECAC teams in the poll included Cornell at number 11, Yale at number 13, Clarkson at number 15, and Colgate at number 18. Minnesota continued its reign at number 1, but ceded 6 first-place votes to number 2, Boston College. The pairwise rankings mirrored the USCHO rankings in regard to the top 3, Minnesota, Boston College, and Quinnipiac. They stand at 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, respectively. Union trails Quinnipiac by only 2 pairwise points.
After a busy week in the ECAC, Union is at the top of the leaderboard with 20 points. Quinnipiac sits tied with Colgate in 2nd place with 19 points through their 8-2-3 conference records. Clarkson and Cornell follow with 16 points apiece, and Yale sits in 6th place with 13 points.
Twin brothers and seniors Connor and Kellen Jones have been nominated for the prestigious Hobey Baker Memorial Award. Connor currently has 7 goals and 16 assists for 23 points in the first 25 games of the season. Kellen reached the 100-point mark against Princeton and is currently tied for the team lead in assists, while ranking 2nd for goals. The brothers were also featured in Sports Illustrated's Faces in the Crowd after becoming the 5th set of brothers in NCAA history to reach 100 career points while playing together. Bobcat fans can vote online once a day for their favorite player for the award. In the meantime, Q30's Colin Babcock sat down with the twins to discuss the season and Hobey Baker nomination.
Now I got a question because you guys are identical twins, and about your look. Do you guys go and get haircuts on the same day? Do you purposely look like, while trying to look at each other?
I don't know. I think it depends. Like right now, Kel has a beard, and I don't think his girlfriend will probably let that tolerate that much longer. And I can do whatever I want in that sense. So, but in haircuts, we usually get them every Christmas and then every summer when we get home. And we don't plan to look the same.
I'm not trying to be like the Sedin twins and have the exact same beards and exact same hairstyle, but I guess it's just worked out that way.
Yeah. Now, how often do professors mistake you guys?
I'd say once a year. Usually, there'll be a teacher that won't know like that Kellen has a brother, and he'll come up to me. Well, I remember one teacher came up and she was like, "There's my favorite student." I'm like, "Who are you?" And so that was kind of funny, but it happens occasionally. But we have fun with it.
So now you guys, let me see. Last year you played with St. Denis and Pekka. Now this year you started off with Quenneville and a little bit of Sam Annis now. What's it like having to transition to a third winger all the time on the move?
It's something we're used to, guys get hurt and stuff like that. And last year, we all got hurt, Pex, me, Kellen, so we were kind of rotating positions and stuff like that. But it's just, we like having someone out there who works hard and, gives it everything they got. And Annis has been just a great compliment to us.
Now, I want to ask you this question both individually. So, Kellen, we'll start with you. What's been your highest career achievement in playing hockey? Was it, is it the 100 points? Is it going to play for the national title last year? Is it being drafted or the Royal Bank Cups?
I think last year, just as a team and as a school, how we made it to the Frozen Four is pretty special. How we all kind of worked together as a school and a team, and it was pretty special to get that on that stage. And it's just another level above the RBC. So, and losing, it sucked, but it was still a really great achievement.
Connor, how about for you?
Yeah, I think definitely. Winning is fun. Last year was awesome, but I know we weren't very happy. We still have a pretty sour taste in our mouth from getting beaten. I think the coolest part of last year was just seeing the university come together, and because we've been here for 4 years, and just seeing a step from when we were freshmen to last year, and it's just been amazing. Like the support we've had, and I think that as a year, I think that was probably the most memorable because it was just.
You've
so
really got
amazing.
to see the program.
We've really got to see everything, and it's been great to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm. Now, what would you guys say to any doubters out there that say you might not be able to play as efficiently without each other?
I don't know. I think we both do things well, and I don't know. He's a great centerman, and I'm a good winger.
A decent winger.
And, but you know what? We hope that we can play professionally together, and we know it's a business and understand that kind of side of hockey. But we're hoping to sign together somewhere, and if not, then I'm sure it'll be okay.
Sort of wrapping up here, looking back after you guys have moved on with Quinnipiac, what's it going to be like when you come back to this rink and you see both your names on that 100-point banner?
I know it's going to be pretty cool just to see some of the great players that are up there, just like Cash and some other players we've met before. And it's definitely an honor, and to do it with your brother is just something special for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'd like to, I think Marshall would like to see a national championship banner in here instead of, I mean, that'll be nice, but we'd like to see that. I think it'll be a little bit more fun winning, That'd be great.
All right, well, that's all the questions I have, so thanks a lot, guys.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Men's hockey's next game is Friday at Dartmouth. Dartmouth currently has a record of 2-10-1 and is not ranked in the USCHO poll. The Bobcats will then play Clarkson and St. Lawrence a week later. And there's a lot to look forward to for the men's hockey team, but it's time for us to take another break here on Sports Paws. Coming up next is all the information you need to know about the women's ice hockey team, find out how one player got a huge honor for an upcoming competition. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
The Bobcat Shop, located at 1010 Sherman Avenue in Hamden. Your #1 choice for Bobcat merchandise. The Bobcat Shop features 2 floors of countless styles and colors. With a full 19,000 square foot screen printing and embroidery operation on the premises, Campus Customs and Simplify can design and decorate any garment or promotional product as quickly as needed. Stop in and say hi.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken with cheese for just over $4, giant cheesesteak subs, and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
Quinnipiac's own women's hockey player Erica Uden Johansson will be competing in the Sochi Olympics. This is Johansson's second appearance as a member of Team Sweden as she competed in the 2010 Vancouver Olympics. Sweden will first hit the ice in Group B preliminary action against Japan on February 9th. Quinnipiac's coach Rick Seeley said he's, quote, proud of Erica. She's always represented their program and Quinnipiac with class and maturity, unquote. Team Sweden will open up the Olympics on February 9th at 3 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time.
The women's ice hockey team had a month off following their 3-1 victory over RPI back on December 7th. The team continued its season with a 3-1 win over Princeton. Then the team traveled to the Capital District where they lost to RPI 3-2 and defeated Union College 1-0. Next, the Bobcats played 2 straight home games against the 8th-ranked Colonials of Robert Morris. They would tie 1-1 in overtime during the first game, followed by a 5-1 loss in the second game.
The Idle Bobcats remained just that, idle in the women's hockey USCHO poll. They remained the 9th-ranked team in the nation. 3 ECAC teams remained ranked ahead of the Bobcats. Clarkson jumped up to number 4 in the nation, Harvard remained ranked 5th, and Cornell fell to number 6. Minnesota remained the unanimous number 1 team in the nation after sweeping the weekend series against St. Cloud State. The pairwise rankings were less forgiving to the Bobcats. The team is ranked 10th in the USCHO's pairwise rankings. Harvard, Cornell, Clarkson, and Princeton are the other ECAC teams included in the rankings. They are ranked 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 14th, respectively.
With a 7-3-4 ECAC record, the Quinnipiac women's ice hockey team sits in 4th place with 18 points. Harvard, Clarkson, and Cornell are the top 3 teams in the standings, with just under a month left before the conference tournament begins.
The women's hockey team is taking on Dartmouth this upcoming Friday at High Point Solutions Arena. Dartmouth has 6 wins in conference compared to Quinnipiac's 7. The following weekend, Harvard is coming down to take on the Bobcats.
And the Quinnipiac women's tennis team began their 2014 campaign with a 6-1 loss against the Brown Bears. Quinnipiac's top 5 singles struggled against the Bears. However, Quinnipiac's 6th single, Kelsey Oliphant, defeated her opponent 6-2 and 6-4. Oliphant then won her doubles match with transfer sophomore Sofia Dozinski winning 6-4. Quinnipiac continues their season on Friday, January 31st, as they travel to take on the Terriers of Boston University.
Women's indoor track has had a great start to their season. At the recent meet at Boston University, 9 different Quinnipiac competitors set personal records. Sophomore Shamil Samuels set the school record for the 200-meter dash. Sophomore Chelsea Savage recorded the second fastest 1,000-meter run for Quinnipiac. Other events where personal records were set were the 3,000-meter run, 500-meter dash, 1-mile run, and the 4x4 relay. The Bobcats are back in action at Harvard on February 1st.
Tuesday was a special day for the men's soccer program. Senior midfielder Simon Hind was one of 267 soccer players selected in the 2014 MLS Super Draft. Hind finished his career at Quinnipiac with a productive senior season, scoring 10 goals and 1 assist for a total of 21 points. He helped the team win its first ever MAAC championship and earn their first trip to the NCAA tournament.
Well, that's all for this week. We hope we were able to fill you in on all things Quinnipiac.
And if you want to be involved in Q30, visit us at our new Q30 website, q30television.com.
And like us on Facebook at Q30 Television and follow us on Twitter at Q30 Sports.
And for Q30, I'm Tom Albanese.
And I'm Camille Bova. See you next time.